What if I told you that for thousands of years, across pretty much every major culture and philosophy, there's been this powerful shared agreement about the dangers of money and control? We're going to dive into this ancient consensus because, well, it's startlingly relevant to everything happening today.
I mean, think about it. This question, it really cuts to the heart of our economies, our politics, even our personal relationships. Is it just how the world works, or is there something fundamentally broken in that whole equation?
And what's so wild is that this isn't some new modern take. We're talking about a deep, resounding yes from the very traditions that shaped entire civilizations, from ancient India all the way to the Mediterranean and beyond.
So this is the core idea we're going to unpack. It's a really bold claim, right? And these traditions argue it's not just some moral guideline, but almost like a law of how the universe actually works. They say the attempt to control people with wealth is a path to ruin. Let's see why.
Okay, so first up, these traditions don't actually blame money. They point the finger right back at us, inward. The problem isn't the gold in your hand, it's the greed in your heart. They see greed as this sort of inner thief that robs you of your own peace and integrity.
And I think this definition from the Buddhist Abhidharma is just incredibly precise. See, greed isn't just wanting stuff. It's the clinging, the guarding, that deep psychological attachment to what you own. That's the seed of the whole problem.
And the warnings they give are, well, they're stark. The Bhagavad Gita doesn't pull any punches. It puts greed right up there with anger and uncontrolled desire as one of the three main gates to your own self-destruction.
And you hear the same thing in the Islamic tradition. This is a historical warning. Greed isn't just a personal failing. It's a societal poison. It's what has toppled civilizations by pushing people to be immoral and break their most sacred bonds.
Now, Christianity makes a really crucial distinction here. Notice it doesn't say money is the root of all evil. It says the love of it is. And that just confirms the pattern we're seeing. It's the internal feeling, the desire and attachment that corrupts, not the thing itself.
So if the desire is the real problem, why do we all still chase after wealth for power and security? Well, according to these traditions, it's because that whole chase is built on an illusion. Material wealth, they say, is like trying to build a house on sand.
It's the classic bait and switch, isn't it? We chase money, promising ourselves we'll get security, power, happiness. But the ancient texts, they reveal a very different reality. The Tamil Thirukkural says that kind of wealth just vanishes. The Hebrew Proverbs say it brings trouble, and Ecclesiastes, it calls the whole thing meaningless.
And here's that idea from the Thirukkural in full. It almost suggests a kind of cosmic law. Wealth that's just hoarded out of greed that isn't used for good is fundamentally unstable. It's just destined to disappear. And this famous verse from Ecclesiastes, man, it just gets right to the heart of the psychological trap. The hunt for wealth for its own sake is a game you literally can't win. It's an endless loop of dissatisfaction, a hunger that can never, ever be filled.
Okay, so if material wealth is a trap, what's the alternative? Well, these traditions propose a completely different kind of currency for a successful life, the currency of virtue.
I just love this distinction from Confucius's Analects. It draws such a clear line in the sand. You've got the small person, who's motivated by profit. Their first question is always, so, what's in it for me? But then you have the superior person, who's motivated by righteousness. Their first question is, what's the right thing to do?
And this focus on inner character, that's the common thread that ties all of this together. True wealth isn't about what you own, it's about who you are. Righteousness becomes your shield, freedom from greed is your real success, and contentment. Contentment is your greatest treasure. That's their definition of real net worth.
This line from the Gita is so powerful because it gets to the very heart of the illusion of control. Think about it. You can control your actions, your intentions, your integrity, but trying to control the outcome, the fruits of your action, that's a fool's errand. It's the ultimate source of anxiety and, paradoxically, the very thing that pushes us to act unethically.
So, let's pull all this together. We've heard voices separated by centuries, by entire continents, and yet they're all singing from the same hymn sheet.
I mean, just look at this summary. The exact words are different, sure, but the diagnosis? It's identical. From the ego's illusion in Hinduism to the curse of discontent in Chinese philosophy, the message is exactly the same. The real problem is the internal state of greed and the external attempt to control.
So the verdict from this ancient council of wisdom is unanimous. It's unambiguous.
Using material things to control other people doesn't actually lead to power. It leads to suffering, to instability, and to a life that's just devoid of any true meaning.
In the end, it really brings to mind what the ancient Vedic sages said. Truth is one, the wise call it by many names. And this sure feels like one of those fundamental truths.
Which, of course, leaves us with one last crucial question. We've just seen a consensus that spans the entire globe and all of recorded history. So, if this wisdom is so universal, why is our modern world so often a testament to the exact opposite? Why is this ancient truth so hard to follow? That's the thought I'll leave you with.